when you from Oxnard, that's the hardest thing. Hardest thing to do is do prison. When you're from Oxnard, Oxnard, most of the people in Oxnard, not most, I ain't gonna say that because there's a lot of Crips in Oxnard too. But when you're in the black community and you go to prison and you're from Oxnard, you're not gonna run into another Oxnard nigga. Chances are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Bakersfield got your back though. Like it's the 805 car, so Bakersfield, Palmdale, all of them, they got your back.
Yeah,
But
Wasco. You're gonna take your Wasco.
yeah, that's what I was, you know.
Were you at Wasco?
Yeah, I did Wasco for a second, but
Yeah.
you got that, but you know, most people ain't never like most LA Bay people. They ain't never heard of Oxnard. They don't know what it is. They heard of it today.
Yeah,
but
now.
back in the day,
Well,
nah.
Shit.
What's an Oxnard? Oxnard.
They
What's a
fucking found
Oxnard?
out at fucking COVID when they fucking had everything shut down and we were the only ones open. They
So
fucking
I had
came over
to,
here quick.
yeah, I had to get off on a few people, and I got a bunch of reps based on the fact that I was from Oxnard. I got a bunch of fighting reps based on the fact that I was from Oxnard, because that's the thing that you had to do when you was in prison. Like if you really felt like, you know, people were playing with you, then you had to get off. And at that point,
Are
they
you
know.
fighting your own race at this point? Because I know
I
that
did,
there's oh, you did?
Yeah, I never.
Is it,
I
that's
never
not
fought
like a thing that
outside. I never fought outside my race one time in prison. If you did, then they gonna hit the button.
Okay, I thought that's like a no. We're not fucking with our own because you never know what's gonna pop
We
about to
don't
pop
jump
off.
our own, but you gonna get down with your own. That happens. You gonna get down, and your own could be. It might not. Your own, what you probably saying, and I'm
Are
not,
they like testing you when you first get there? Is that what happens?
That's what I mean. Like, you know, like they don't know what Oxnard is, so they think like, okay, you L.A., you Oakland, you San Francisco, you San Diego. That you gonna run into a gang of people. You know what I'm saying? So, and you think of L.A., Oakland, San Francisco, San Diego, San Bernardino. You think about these places. You know you go out there and get robbed. You know you go out there and get shot. You know that. Oxnard, what do you think about? You think
Picking
about strawberries.
Strawberries.
Yeah.
You think about strawberries. You think about Anderson Paak. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
know,
a bunch of
you're not thinking
Mexicans.
about any of the shit that we actually lived through. So they think we just out here surfboarding and picking strawberries. That's literally what they think. I remember Game said something like that. You know what I'm saying? But
Come find out.
yeah, he said come find out. No, so a lot of the times I had to,
Don't
I
listen to
had
me.
to get off, and there was a particular situation where it was a guy from Oakland that I got off on when I was in the feds, and I got the best of him. I'm not gonna say that I beat his ass, but I was whooping him so bad that he had to start pulling my hair. He pulled a bunch of patches
Oh,
of
what
my
a
hair out.
bitch.
Yeah, but
What a bitch. That's a bitch ass
yeah,
move.
but it was fucked up. The cop, the cop was from Lompoc. I forget his name. Darg was his last name. I think that was his name, Darg. I'm not sure, but he didn't press the button, and we fought right in front of him, and he didn't press the button. But when I was in the hole,
He had money on you.
they gotta let you go to the gate, you know. Well, I didn't go to the hole for that, but when I was in the hole for when they moved me, because they wound up kicking me off of that compound, he actually was one of the cops at the fence, and he explained to me why he didn't push the button. The reason he didn't push the button was because it was black on black. If it was Mexican on Mexican, he wouldn't have pushed the button. If it was white on white, he wouldn't have pushed the button. But if it was black on white, black on Mexican, black on whatever, he'd have had to push the button because I could turn into a gang riot. So if y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do, and y'all
So
gonna
you
break
guys are
it up
policing each other
most of the time. But the Muslims,
by the race.
they broke it up at that point. They seen what was going on, and it was a quick fight.
Is there a lot of Muslims in y'all?
Fuck yeah, and they real
Really?
dudes too. They ain't no fucking like you don't think like when you hear the word Muslim, don't think that you like they just up in there just praying all day. You will get laid out by a Muslim.
Really?
I know a few of them that was up in there doing some real hardcore time, and those were my the people that I was lifting weights with, Muslims. It was a Muslim car that I was lifting weights with because at Lompoc all the cars were tied up pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the Muslim dude was like, we need another guy. Let me see your paperwork, and then we do good or whatever. And then I went over there.
When you say let me see your paperwork, what does that mean?
What do you mean? You were a Muslim?
No, I was working out with the Muslims. Those were my workout buddies.
And so you can do that?
Yeah.
Do you have to get permission from the car?
I wasn't in no car. I was a non-affiliate, but I was just Southside. Like,
but when you say let me see your
LA.
paperwork, what does that mean?
You're trying to make sure you're not a child molester.
make sure you good. Make
Okay. You make sure
you're
you're
not telling or make
yeah,
sure you're not
snitch or
out.
rat. Okay.
Yeah, not just that. I mean that shit is discretion wise. I didn't care whether motherfuckers was snitches and shit in there, but the child molesters and rapists, those are the ones I had a problem with.
I'm sure everyone else did too.
Yeah. I didn't care about all of that fucking. That shit's debatable. I felt like everybody up in there was snitching anyway. So
sure. I mean,
didn't matter
trying to
me.
get ahead whatever
Yeah.
you can.
Well, I mean, look at what's going on right now with everybody coming out as they was telling, and a lot of these legendary gang members, they paperwork starting to surface.
Yeah.
Allegedly, Big Meech cooperated. Like, it's a lot of people. By the way, he was at Lompoc too. He wasn't on the same yard. He wasn't on the same yard I was. He was on the yard across the street. But like, you even look at that, and it's like, damn, these motherfuckers really fucking put out this stigma and got this generation of
Say
kids.
don't snitch and everything.
Yeah,
you be
but they
snitching,
out there really ruining their lives, and these motherfuckers was fake the whole time. You was cooperating the whole time. You was, it's a lot of them coming out. So,
and that's true because Tim doesn't know.
It's
about
just
this.
it's just a
Because me and him know
It's
about
not real.
growing up in the hood, right?
right.
So white people don't know about that.
I was mean streets of
No,
Wyoming,
but you had a rough coming up.
Wyneme
too.
was ugly depending
Yeah,
on what
you had a
street.
rough coming up,
Hey,
too.
if you lived on Perkins, then you might have had a few run-ins.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's on.
Yeah,
It was
or Cuesta
always
Del
on.
Mar and all those areas. Like,
Yeah.
Wyneme ain't no bitch.
No. I stopped
Yeah.
myself because I go, oh shit. Well, no, he lived in Wyneme, so that's
There was a lot of fights with like the black mob and like the essays.
Yeah,
That was going on for so
all those
long.
riots. I missed that era. And
It was
plus,
right
I was
before
at
you got
Channel
here.
Islands. Huh?
It was right before you got there.
No, it was going down as I got. I'm saying,
it was still
I'm
there?
saying I was at Channel Islands when all this was going on. Most of the time it happened was at Wyneme
Yep.
or it was at Oxnard High School. I hear more so stories about Oxnard High School, but
People used to run on campus and stab people and leave.
we seen them riots a lot when I was in Long Beach though. I went to Long Beach, Jordan. It was a riot every other week. It felt like, yeah. It was either the Samoans versus the Mexicans, Mexicans versus the blacks, Samoans versus the black. It was always something.
Yeah, that's how it was.
Asian.
Did you ever see or hear about any riots in your school? Tim?
There was no riots in our school. I mean, we had that school shooter.
You did?
Yeah.
Someone came up and tried to shoot the place?
I graduated the year.
The year you already had, so you're
So
one
the
year
year
off.
after-
Somebody came up to the school.
He had this girl hostage, like his girlfriend,
I
because she
remember
broke up
hearing
with.
about that. Yeah. Didn't he kill himself or something?
Nah, the cop fucking splattered him, dude.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Sniped him.
I know he died.
Stop it! What year was this?
Like 2001.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was
2000?
gone. I was gone at that point. I was in Bakersfield.
And nobody covered that.
Why was
I
that?
don't know, man.
And well, okay. Well, we
Fuck
know what
y'all,
we gotta
fucking.
do.
See?
No. We know what we gotta do. We gotta get the information. We gotta get stories. We gotta start doing interviews of people that were at the school around that time.
That's not a bad idea.
Telling you, that kind of stuff gotta be documented. Like
For sure.
that
It-
kind of
but
stuff.
I love
see,
that
True
shit.
crime.
That's the problem. That's one of the problems that I don't like about this part of California because it's so close to LA because it overshadows. Because there's a lot of shit that happens here. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people that come from here, and we're treated like the stepchild.
I sort of like it. I don't want to be.
No,
the other
don't get
one.
me wrong. There's edginess
Like,
to
fuck
it.
that.
Like there's a punk element to that.
That's
for
what
sure.
I am. I'm like, that's my
But
rebellious
but
heart.
like we just the national stuff. Unless if it's not someone getting fucking murdered out and dropped off,
Oh, that shit was wild.
fucking right here on Harbor, and all this shit. You
This
know
shit
what I
happened
mean?
like a week ago. You heard about that?
Man, that shit was crazy.
Yeah,
I felt
like-
bad for that dude. And then
Was
to
it the
hear
soccer coach that did it?
Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Dude
but
fucked
it
him
makes
and then
sense.
flipped out and
Hey.
then killed him.
Hey, it makes sense. Because he was actually on the baby, right? Like he was.
Yeah.
He had a relationship with the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's some old punk ass shit. I actually dealt with like a molestation issue when I was a kid, not 13, but around 9 and 10 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I feel it. and that made the most sense when I heard that. When I heard that, that's what pretty much what was going on. I was like, whatever. But yeah, you're right though. It does overshadow. You know what was the thing and what started to happen though, especially in prison. When I would, where you from? I'm from Oxnard. Oh, that's where the Cowboys stay at, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be like that. So like people know about it now.
You know,
They-
shout outs to the Cowboys too for helping that out.
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
like, and I no bullshit. Like, I'm a Raiders fan, and whatever.
I'm a Raider fan.
And I
too.
grew up in El Rio, so like you see old boys and shit. So I
Yeah.
know where the fucking shit's at. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? 'Cause I fucking know that. But for them to come to Oxnard and continue to come to Oxnard and not go anywhere
Yeah.
else for the community, that's fucking what's up.
They
Like, you know what
stopped
I mean?
for a year or two.
Yeah.
But no. What's going on with the hotel?
No, that's there. Remember?
They changed it. It's not the Residence Inn anymore.
Yeah, they remodeled the whole thing.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm saying, are the Cowboys still gonna come?
Yeah, they were here last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that, but I didn't know they changed the name then. I learned that after a while.
No, I think it's been a couple of years.
Okay.